there
Right.
anything else you would like to add?
Well, I just think it's great and fantastic that the young people are interested in the World War II to the extent that they are here. I'd like to see more in other schools here. I'd like to hear of more young people learning about World War II. I have a great-grandson that is 7, and I suspect that when he gets into history, by that time they'll forgot all about World War II.
Hopefully
In his
not.
case, though, his parents will bring him up to his old grandpa, you know. So he'll get a little bit, but I don't think there's enough education pertaining to wars. The diplomatic corps that we have, that's supposed to prevent skirmishes.
Yeah.
They're useless. They're useless. We're not tough enough. I can throw this in. I don't think it's so related to your question. But instead of pouring money into all these other little countries or big countries, any of them, let them earn their own money, and we use that money to help our young people get educated.
I
Instead
agree.
of making it so difficult for them to get an education.
I agree.
Costing a fortune. And the colleges are capitalizing on that. They're putting money in their back pocket.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So I guess that's what I'd like to see.
At least
They
you're.
better hurry.
Yeah.
I won't be here long enough to see it, I don't believe.
That's okay. You'll still be around. At least your grandson will have the ability to talk to you and hear your stories about it too. So.
Well, of course, you folks, you'll have records of it, and you'll listen to them now and then, and yeah. But there's so many more young people that aren't getting the drift of it, you know.
Right.
Yeah, and that's just World War II. We got all the rest of them too. We don't need to. Control the other countries. Let them control themselves.
Right.
Years ago, before World War II, 10 years before, we were isolationists. Where we were, the United States was here. We didn't even we owned Hawaii and Alaska, but they weren't states. But we encompassed here, and we didn't worry about other people. But well, I'm talking about the 1930s. You know?
Right.
We have to get in and get involved in all these other skirmishes. That bad news. Like we're talking about getting into Syria now too.
Right.
What do you think that's going to be like? Just as bad as any of the rest of them. You
It
know?
will be.
Yeah, it will be. Yeah. Instead of going in and wiping them out, they piddle around with them.
Right.
Doesn't work.
See, they just need to take your guys' advice. You know what you're talking about.
Well, I can't remember what's the name of this controversy now that took place a couple of months ago, where it started with a B.
Benghazi?
Yeah, that's it.
Yep.
Yeah. Now that's an example of our. You see, here's an opportunity for us to go on in and clean that bunch out because they overstepped their bonds.
Right.
Because they're not supposed to be fooling around with diplomats.
Right.
Well, these other people don't care about that. They go do whatever they feel like. The Muslims in particular, they're going to be ruling us one of these days.
Yep.
They are going to be ruling us if we don't fight. Now, I'm prepared to fight them. I am. I don't always carry, but I usually do. And that's there that when some Muslim decides I'm going to have to wear that turban, Ain't gonna happen.
Right.
It'll be a mess one of these days, but it's gonna happen.
But at least most people should be armed.
Yeah, that's why the Japanese. That's why they didn't land in Colorado. I can't even remember what's the most eastern west state? What's the matter? California.
Yeah.
Of course, I've talked today more than I ordinarily talk in a month. But, the Japanese wouldn't decide they wouldn't land in California because too many people had guns.
Right.
And they'd used them.
That's what it should still be like.
That will happen here, but it's still, there'll be enough Muslims that, and there'll be a lot of wishy-washies that'll say, well, the Muslims are better than dying, because that's what the Muslims will do, kill anybody get out of line, they'll kill.
Right.
And we'll wonder what happened all of a sudden, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay.
Thank you for everything.
Well, I'm happy to do it, really. I was dubious to start with because I thought it'd work me up some. I got to be careful about that. But my wife said that I really ought to give it a whirl and see what happens. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. I love learning about history, and I'm glad I had the opportunity to meet with an actual World War II veteran.
Oh, well, thank you. My pleasure to make it work. Okay.